Did you know that the Canadian government once officially recorded a UFO crash? In 1967, in a quiet fishing town in Nova Scotia, multiple witnesses, including fishermen, RCMP officers, and military personnel, reported seeing a glowing object fall from the sky and crash into the ocean. What happened over the next 3 days remains one of the most credible alien-related mysteries in history. This is the chilling true story of the Shag Harbour incident. It was the night of October 4th, 1967, just after 11 p.m. The fishermen and families of Shag Harbour were settling in, preparing for another quiet evening. But then the sky lit up. Several local residents noticed 4 bright lights moving silently over the ocean. These lights weren't like airplane strobes or navigation beacons. They moved too slowly, then too suddenly, and then they tilted at an impossible angle, a maneuver no known aircraft could make in 1967. Teenagers on a hill overlooking the water saw the lights form a rectangular pattern, as if they were attached to a single object. One of them whispered, "It looks like it's going down." Seconds later, they all watched the lights dive toward the ocean, a silent descent. Then a sudden splash, and a huge foam explosion on the surface. One witness described it as a bright, glowing craft the size of a bus, sinking into the dark water. No sound, no debris, no fire, just a glowing shape sliding beneath the waves. Within minutes, calls began flooding the local RCMP detachment. These weren't hysterical calls from 1 or 2 people. Dozens reported the same event. 4 lights, low altitude. Something hit the water. A plane crash, maybe? The RCMP scrambled. Constable Ron Pond, on patrol just miles away, radioed in saying he had also seen the lights descending toward Shag Harbour. Assuming a passenger aircraft had crashed, officers raced to the shoreline. But what they found didn't look like a plane crash. About half a kilometre from shore, a glowing yellow light floated on the water's surface. Not flames, more like a large, illuminated object partially submerged. Fishermen rushed to their boats, ready for rescue. One fisherman later said, "I expected bodies. Something. But it wasn't a plane, and whatever it was still moving." Within 15 minutes, the yellow light began drifting against the current. Then slowly, it sank. Search and rescue boats arrived within the hour. The Canadian Coast Guard joined shortly afterward. Divers were mobilized. Planes circled overhead. This was a full-scale, multi-agency emergency response. But there was one problem. There was nothing to rescue. Nothing to recover. Nothing at all. No metal. No oil slick. No floating debris. No bodies? The ocean was calm and clear. If something had crashed, evidence should have been everywhere. But the surface was spotless. Local fishermen insisted they had seen something massive in the water. RCMP officers confirmed the same. Even military radar operators later admitted there had been an anomalous object over the bay. Yet the search found 0 physical evidence. For the next 3 days, the Royal Canadian Navy conducted an underwater search. Divers explored the seabed. Sonar teams scanned every inch. Later, several Navy divers claimed, off the record, that they did encounter something unusual deep beneath the surface. But officially, the government's public conclusion was, unidentified flying object, no known aircraft involved. This was the first time the Canadian government openly acknowledged a UFO in a formal report. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. Decades later, retired Navy officers revealed a hidden detail. The object seen in Shag Harbour didn't disappear. It moved. Underwater? Navy sonar detected 2 objects. Not 1. 2. They sat stationary on the seabed for several days, as if waiting for repairs. Then, according to the officers' accounts, something even stranger happened. A third, unidentified object arrived from above and joined the 2 submerged ones. Shortly after, all 3 moved simultaneously and vanished into the depths, heading toward the open Atlantic. This information never appeared in public government files. When journalists and investigators filed access to information requests in the years that followed, the answer was always the same. No further information is available. Yet the Shag Harbour case is listed in Canada's official UFO records as unidentified, observed by credible witnesses, corroborated by radar, investigated by multiple government branches, and notably, no earthly explanation has ever been found. Most UFO sightings rely on single witnesses or blurry videos. Shag Harbour is different because dozens of witnesses, police officers saw it, fishermen saw it, military radar tracked it, naval divers searched for it, government files openly admit it happened. No conventional explanation has ever fit the event. Even the US military showed interest. NORAD reportedly contacted Canadian officials the following morning asking, "Did you recover the object?" Not, "Did anything crash?" Not, "Did you find debris?" But, "Did you recover it?" As if they already knew something had entered the water. More than 55 years later, the Shag Harbour incident remains a cornerstone of UFO research, not because it's sensational, but because it's verified. Local residents still talk about that night. Retired RCMP officers still insist the reports are accurate. Navy divers still refuse to discuss what they found. And the Canadian government still lists the event as unknown. The truth is simple. Something entered the water that night. Something that wasn't from any known aircraft. To this day, no one can explain what crashed into Shag Harbour. If you like this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe.